What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. Please consider this a bench video. It's raining outside, and else do we want to get our hair wet?
No.
No, we do not. So we decided, it was raining, it's quite cold. We're gonna sacrifice the wind. We're gonna film it indoors here. There's a lot of different things I want to talk about. I've been thinking about things. I want to talk a little bit about clickbait. I want to talk about self-policing an unregulated community, or let's say an industry like the fitness industry. I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, a post I read that kind of inspired me, and a recent experience I had that really confirms that you need to A, keep true to yourself, but B, call out bullshit when you see it. And I know it's kind of unpopular to say, because everyone in the fitness industry, I think it's one of those industries where people want to believe the lies. Everyone wants to believe they can look a certain way that might be unnatural. They want to believe you can naturally achieve something that's an unnatural look. So it's kind of built on hopes, false hopes, and lies. So a lot of people are willing to deceive themselves. And what I mean when I say that is that sometimes making some videos, saying like, oh, like, a lot of people are not natural, or they say that they're natural and they're not. It might seem a little negative, but I think it's important, and here's why. There's a few things I want to talk about. In the first place, Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, he had a post, I'm going to put a screenshot here, when he said that essentially the fitness industry is not regulated, which means anyone can talk about it. Hey, you want to talk about eating one time a week? Go for it. You want to put out a book with that? Go for it. You want to build a cult of personality around that? Have a killer physique and then just sell this crazy idea, you can do that, and it actually sells. And so his larger point that he was making is that self-policing, so regulating the industry amongst professionals, so calling out what's wrong, is vital then if it's unregulated. So if anyone can talk about things, if anyone could just get up, much like the internet right now on YouTube, I'm gonna probably link this back a little bit to that whole Logan Fiasco, you have to be able to call out bullshit, right? As a whole, as an entity, the fitness industry, you have to have individuals that care enough about what's going on in order to call it out. So actually, Dr. Brad Schoenfeld does that a lot when it comes to research. He's a hypertrophy expert. He's published dozens and dozens of research papers. He gives a fuck about the industry, and that's why he's passionate. He talks about things, he calls it out, and by doing it, it basically illuminates what's right, what's wrong, and what you should follow, which serves the greater good, which is trying to provide quality information to the masses, trying to disseminate all that research, all the information that researchers do, and then to make it in an easy to understand way. That's the goal of my channel, and the goal of a lot of people trying to do a hell of a lot of good in the industry. And I think that was the tipping point, quite frankly, that happened with flexible dieting. You had guys like Alan, Aragon, you had Eric Helms, you had all these people talking about not being needlessly restrictive when it comes to eating. And there was that paradigm shift. The same thing kind of happened when it came to strength. Throwing out those old myths. Oh, like when you're cutting, like you should just do high reps to tone. Like you can't have carbs after 6 p.m. These were long-standing myths that were perpetuated mainly by marketers. So I think calling out bullshit's important. So sometimes it might come across as a little cynical or jaded when some people make certain posts, or I'll say, oh man, you don't know who to trust in the online industry, but it comes from a place of passion, because around here we care a lot. Jumping from that point, this was really illuminated to me recently. I was at a dinner, and there's a lot of people, kind of business type people, talking about different things. Of course, new year, new me, it's January, so everybody's trying to transform their bodies. And one guy, not naming names, but this dude, he was kind of like a business type, and he read a recent book, I think it's Body by Science, it's called, but he was essentially explaining to everyone at the table, I didn't say what I did or anything like that, but he's like, all right, I read this book, and this is what you gotta do. You wanna get in shape, you wanna get stronger. He's like, I'm currently doing this, and I feel better than ever before, working out one time per week, doing a 12-minute workout, doing time under tension, 60 seconds. So you work out for 12 minutes, one time per week. Is superior for strength gains than training 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times per week. And 12 minutes gets you way more results than training for 1 hour or 2 hours. And it's a lot healthier for your body, which just anyone watching this video knows is completely bullshit. But apparently this is a book. I don't know when this book came out, but it's making the rounds. He was adamant that it was correct. I just made the point, I didn't say what I did, but I said, you know, like I know a lot of trainers is all I said. I know people that do research, and no one would actually agree with that. And he said, well, you know, trainers have that angle. They want to sell you on training. They want to sell you on doing a lot of sessions. So they're not probably being honest with you. And I was thinking to myself, wait a second here. The author of this book was spreading misinformation, poor information to the masses, and this guy then believed it. Why? Because maybe he's on the bestsellers list. He maybe was featured on a TV show where everyone just believes like, oh, he's on it. He's on a TV show. He must be respected. And so as a result of that, you get guys like that adamantly believing what they hear just kind of through the grapevine. So it becomes extra important in an unregulated industry to speak out about the bullshit. And that's what I try and do. I try and make it kind of even. And that's why I think there's been this response with the whole Logan Paul fiasco. Of course, for those that don't know, and hey, better for you not to know, there's this whole controversy surrounding some of his videos in Japan, him filming a dead body, someone that committed suicide. It was atrocious. What was good about that, the positive, is that as a community, I think people came out and spoke out about it. Basically how YouTube needs to do a better job, how his audience needs to be educated upon what's going on. So YouTube's unregulated, kind of. It's regulated in a small way, like you get demonetized, but not to high standard. And so it's up to the community, guys, obviously like H3 and a few others, to call it. They kind of self-police the community, and that's what happens. People talk out against the bullshit, and that's a good thing. And so the question might be then, why does BS sell, or why does clickbait work when people talk about clickbait? And that is because it appeals to kind of that reptilian part of our brain that just wants to believe something, like how to instantaneously lose weight. Oh my God, that sounds good. And it will always get, unfortunately, more views than the truth. And that's kind of sad, but it is the harsh reality. And I'm going to give a shout out to the channel to Jeff Nippard, who I do think puts out good content. I saw recently he put out a video because everyone's kind of being affected in various ways by either demonetization or just the YouTube algorithm. It kind of favors more sensational headlines, clickbait. Quite honestly, you get a lot more views. So he put out a video. I think he puts out good content. He put out a recent video where basically it was like a vlog of some sort, but he put in brackets bad news. And so everyone thought, oh my God, like it's terrible news probably in this video, what's going on? And what ended up happening, I believe he lost his luggage, and people got really mad at him because he put bad news, which is clickbait. And I understand both sides. I completely understand Jeff's side, where he wants to put out content that actually will be viewed. He doesn't want to see just his videos fall by the wayside, but also people being mad at this. And so I think some things need to change. One, I think YouTube needs to do a better job regulating things or promoting things that are doing well, that people are passionate about, that they do like. Maybe taking a look at likes. I don't know what the various mechanisms are, but kind of changing that from the inside would do a whole lot of good, so people don't have to resort to clickbait in the first place. But I think the larger picture is us as a community calling out the bullshit. Not necessarily just the clickbait, but all the bad information that comes with the clickbait from other channels. And then you see that, you're like, oh my God, what's going on here? Oh, I could lose like 20 pounds in 2 weeks. It's the new year. What should I do? Rather than someone saying, what sounds sexier? Lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, or hey, you know what? Watch what you eat. Be a little bit smarter with what you do, exercise a little bit, and hey, in 4 months you could lose 10 pounds. What sounds better? So the truth needs to get out there. We have a responsibility, I feel, as creators, and that's why I take some of that responsibility. Has all of my information I put out in my entire career been right? No, not at all. And I try and correct where I've been wrong. And I think more creators need to do that. I think we need to come together when we put out fitness information and just try and do better, because for a long time, the fitness community or the fitness industry, because it's unregulated, was probably filled with more misinformation than the average industry, and we as a whole can do better. We shouldn't be making the same mistakes. So sometimes if I talk about fake natties or people out there masquerading trying to sell programs that don't work, understand it's from a good place. I want to change the community for the better. That's the overall goal. We're going to keep putting out great content. 2018 is the year. I am thankful for everyone to tuning into the channel after all these years, showing their support. I wouldn't be here without you guys. If you like this video, we made it to the end of the video. Make sure to like the damn video. Also check out the new podcast, Mama's Boys, that I launched with Silent Mike. Link will be in the description, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.
Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking
fucking vegetables.